Let's bring you more now on the reports that we're getting out of Bujumbura that a coup has taken place in Burundi. An army general says senior officers are dismissing the president, Nkurunziza, amid a lot of unrest on the streets over his re-election bid. So these reports just coming to us at the moment. We are getting reports that there is violence on the streets of Bujumbura, but that people have also come out on the streets to celebrate. Well, the president right now is actually in Tanzania for talks there in Dar es Salaam. And the BBC's Anne Soy is there covering those talks. And obviously difficult for you given you're in Tanzania, but are these reports of a coup filtering through?
Well, we have had similar reports, but what the president's spokesperson has said is that he dismissed them as rumors previously. We are expecting President Pierre Nkurunziza here at State House, Dar es Salaam. He hasn't arrived yet, but several presidents from the region, from Kenya, Rwanda, Uganda, and of course the host, President Kikwete, are already here for that meeting. As well, we have the chairperson of the African Union. They will be discussing the situation in Burundi, and indeed, this is a new development that they will have to discuss as well.
And I'm just going to bring in some pictures that we have not from today, but yesterday, because of course there have been these ongoing demonstrations and violence in Bujumbura over the president's bid for a third term. Just give us the context of the situation in Burundi now and how fragile it is.
Well, these protests have been going on for a number of days, and the protesters basically saying that the president should not vie for another term in office, but he says he indeed has started campaigns around the country seeking a third term. His interpretation of the constitution is that he has only served one term as an elected president. He says that the first term that he served, he was selected by parliament, and that, in his words, does not count. The Constitutional Court in Burundi backed that argument, and so there has been a different interpretation to the Constitution, and indeed the accord that brought peace to Burundi 15 years ago after 12 years of protracted civil war.
And we've just received pictures that we're able to bring to people right now of soldiers surrounding some of the state broadcasting buildings in the middle of Bujumbura. We're hearing reports that people are coming onto the streets as well. What has the relationship been like between the president and the military?
Well, up to now, the military had spoken in the last days saying that they are going to continue maintaining peace, saying that they were going to submit to the authority of the president and continue helping the police to maintain peace. And so this is a development. Well, there has been talk in Bujumbura and even around the region of a possibility of a coup, and that seems to have come to pass now.
What are regional leaders there saying? And they must have a big stake, of course, in the future of Burundi. It's a landlocked country. Many people have been leaving as well because there have been worries about violence. What's the mood there about trying to bring an end to this violence in a peaceful way?
Well, the regional leaders are very keen to have an African solution to yet another African problem. This is a country that was unstable for many, many years after independence. And for the last 10 years, it has enjoyed peace under the leadership of President Pierre Nkurunziza. And so the reason these leaders are here today is that they hope they can bring a solution, an African solution to this problem. I have talked to some of them and asked them what their expectations are from this meeting. The president of Kenya, President Uhuru Kenyatta, told me that all he wants to see is peace. The other leaders also expressing optimism that a solution is going to be found out of this meeting. But it appears that now the agenda has got to change. They were coming here to discuss the political situation, which is whether President Nkurunziza should seek a third term. And the development in Burundi, therefore, throws this meeting into a different tangent.
So much for bringing us all of that from Dar es Salaam there in Tanzania. The reason Anne is there, just to remind you, is that the president of Burundi, Pierre Nkurunziza is there for talks with regional heads of state. As we get news, reports coming to us from Bujumbura of a coup. With me here in the studios, Venuste Nshimiyimana from BBC Afrique. Venuste, have you been speaking to people in Bujumbura? Have you managed to get through? What are they telling you?
Yes, indeed. For now, you can't go through Bujumbura because it seems that telephone lines has been cut off. But I managed to talk to a military officer who confirmed to me that, in fact, a putsch has been carried out by a group of soldiers who set up a kind of salvation committee, and I could eventually listen to the declaration which was being made by General Niyombareh, who is the leader of Burundi for now.
So they, for now, are controlling all state media. They've got soldiers there as well. What are the messages that are being broadcast to people in Burundi?
The message that I could listen to, although it was not very clear, he was calling for the people of Burundi to be calm and to be united, not to let anyone to come and divide them. And you need to know that the man who is leading this coup is a man who was very close to Pierre Nkurunziza, a man who used to be his intelligence officer, a man who used to be the chief of staff, so he's very well known by the army, and also a man who used to be his ambassador to Nairobi, but most importantly, the man who told him that he should not run for a third mandate.
We have had weeks of violent protests on the streets. People have been killed. Now we're getting reports that people are coming out to celebrate the fact that there's been a coup. Now, as you said, very difficult to find out exactly what is going on. But what do you think in general the reaction will be if indeed a coup has taken place and the military now are in control?
The reaction is already in the streets of Bujumbura, where people are gathering already, celebrating. And the people in the outskirts of Bujumbura, which were marred by demonstrations, are already celebrating. And we can't tell now what will happen in some provinces where Nkurunziza used to be very popular. So, and now he's out of the country. As you know, he's in Dar es Salaam, where he was supposed to attend a meeting to find out how to bring a lasting peace in Burundi. But for now, we better stick on what is happening and not to be preemptive and tell what will happen tomorrow, what we listen. And the last man who was very close to Nkurunziza, when I called, he told me it's over. That was his last word.
Okay.